Do you want to increase your damage? Well, if so, in this video, I'm going to be telling you how you can. And don't worry, you don't need a massive budget. And with that, let's get into the video. The main reason why lots of people don't deal too much damage is because they focus too much on their gear rather than their base stats, which is like your skills and your talismans. This forms the backbone of your damage, and instead of investing your money into talismans and gear to level up skills, you'd buy something like a Juju shortbow or Shadow Assassin armor. All you do here is you're trying to skip these essential stages of progression of like leveling up your skills and getting these basic talismans, and you mess out on a lot of damage. This is also where labels like Juju nons and SA nons start from. So here, I'm just going to do a quick test, and I'm just going to compare my damage with talismans and without talismans. And if you're wondering why I'm using Aspect of the Dragons, then it's because it's the only weapon which I don't have Fabled for. So right now, I've got Maxor boots and Necron chest and legs and Necron head, and I'm also I should be using a Baby Yeti. So my attacking stats here are 826 strength and 733 crit damage. And also, look at the attack speed, 54%, which isn't great, but it's better than nothing. And so the damage I deal right now is 76k. Now with this, I'm going to take all my talismans out, so yeah, I'm just going to do this real quick. So now I'm done with that. Apart from the New Year's kickback, because I can't put down backpacks. If I check my attacking stats, I now have 606 strength and 501 crit damage, which is okay, but it's a big loss. But the big thing here is my attack speed is now 2%, which I've essentially reduced my damage by about 50%. So if I hit a zombie now, you can see I'm dealing 42k. That's nearly half my damage, and that's all from talisman. That's excluding skills. I mean, this shows like how crucial talismans are to your damage, and you just constantly keep on leveling up talismans because it's just so important. Now I'm going to show you my damage when I'm not wearing any armor. If I take off my armor here, sorry, I currently do 39,000 damage, which is pretty much the same as when I was doing without talismans. So essentially, all this Necron armor, this is essentially just equal to my talismans. And if I put on another set which is really mediocre, like this, half of them don't even have any reforges, then with a really mid-game set, I'm doing more than if I had no talismans. Another really important thing I want to point out is skills, because of skills, this combat right here, this has given me, so I've got combat 41, which is, obviously you can get to max, and this would give you a whole lot more. So this would be 240%, I believe. But this already gives me 160% more damage, and that's a lot of damage. And if you don't level up your combat, you're just missing out on all of that. So in the introduction, I briefly touched upon what a non is. So nons are generally to take example, a Juju non. So a Juju non is typically someone with a relatively low skill average, not great caster level, and not many talismans. Now they'd buy a Juju shortbow in the hope that it would raise their damage by a lot. And whilst it is an amazingly good weapon, and it does raise their damage, it's not going to bring them to a height of like a Kata 30 would. Now, don't get me wrong, there is nothing with buying a Juju shortbow, and don't think that if you buy a Juju shortbow, you'll be labelled as a Juju non and won't be able to get into any parties, because it's not right. Because after all, it's there because it's a good weapon, and people want it because it's a good weapon. If it was a bad weapon, no one would want it. So if you feel like it's a good progression of your game and you've got like a decent skills, then yeah, I'd say go for it because it's very good. The last thing I want to say is that you need to get Fairy Souls. Fairy Souls are so important for your damage, and they're so important for your EHP. Just load up a time do your video, and it'll be like 2 hours of your life, but it'll be painful. It's just, the game is just so much easier once you get fairy souls. I hope this gives a little bit of insight into sort of how you should focus on increasing your base stats rather than your external gear like your armor. And if you follow this, I'm sure your damage will increase. And yeah, thank you for watching.